Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of First Person, sponsored by the Precision Strip Company in Minster, Ohio. A great place to work. We talk about them all the time, every week. If you want to start or change or finish your career, they'd be good people to contact, either by phone or stop in and see them or check them out online. The Precision Strip Company in Minster, Ohio. First Person sponsors now for 4 years on PressProsMagazine. We flipped from bowling last week to high school football because we are literally on the threshold of the 2022 season. Happens here in just a few days. We're in Tip City this week with a good friend, an old friend. We've done this a few times, Junior.
Yep, just a few times.
We've done this a few times, but we haven't done it since you took this job 3 years ago. I went back and looked. Matt Burgbacher, the coach of the Red Devils at Tip City, is our guest this week. First of all, thanks for the time. This is a busy time for you, and I just want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about the program, but one thing in particular I want to talk about. When I came here 3 years ago, I think you said you inherited about 60 kids. I looked out at your practice the other day and you had almost 100 in a day and a time, and I don't have to tell you this. You know there are people struggling to get kids in the program, out to play, work, commit, dedicate, be a good teammate, all those kind of things. How have you built that culture back so quickly?
You know, I think that the biggest thing is building great relationships with kids. Mm-hmm. And in our program, every kid matters. And every kid, we want every kid. And, you know, everyone's got a role on your team. Some roles are bigger, some roles are smaller. But as long as those kids understand and they trust, you know, their coaches, they trust their teammates. And plus, people want to be a part of winning. And we've done that the last few years. You know, when you're losing, it's tough to get kids to come out. But here, our kids, they want to be a part of our program because 1, they know they're going to have fun. 2, they know they're going to be pushed. 3, they know they got to be committed. Yeah. A lot of those things that you want to teach, you know, we have in our program, and kids want to be a part of it. We don't keep them here for 8 hours a day. We get in, we get our work done, we have fun while we're doing it. When it's time to work, we're working, and then we're going to have a good time in the locker room afterwards. So, you know, our best recruiters are our kids, and our kids have done a great job of getting other kids to come out.
You said something about things that you want to teach, competitive attributes, good commitment, dedication, discipline, all those kind of things that used to be taught at home. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to used to teach. When they showed up for practice, they kind of came armed with that. I've talked with kids now and ask why you like to play so much, where others say, you know, it's too much work. They tell me, I like the competition. I like the discipline part of it. I like the teammate part. What differentiates those kids, you think? You said something a moment ago before we turned the camera on about culture, and I thought it was a wonderful point.
You know, I think kids want to be a part of a good culture. Mm-hmm. You know, who doesn't? You know, it's like when us adults, we look for a job. We want to be a part of a job that has great culture, where everybody matters. And with our kids, you know, we've got the wide variety. We got the kids that love to be physical and hit people. We've got the competitors. We also got kids that want to be a part of that culture. You know, they're not so worried about how much playing time, but hey, what can I do to help our team win games on Friday? Because everybody sees those guys that you write about. You know, like last year we had Liam Parovsky, Kate Everhart, Jason Rindler, Lawson, you know, those guys. But I tell you what, we were a good football team last year because of Braden Clausen, Ethan Kolb, Trevor Hall. You know, some of those guys that never get their names in the paper, but they had a great role that they played for us that got us ready for Friday night. And now, you know, the thing is, we graduate 19 of 22 starters. Hey, but we're going to keep rolling in the direction we've been going.
Enough philosophy. Let's talk about those 22 starters now, and the fact that, you know, you had a good year last year. What, 8-2 in the regular season, something like that. Some success in the postseason. Yeah. A couple of guys that I just love to watch. Kate Everhart for one, and we just talked about him a moment ago. Well, he's moved on to Ashland now. Liam Parovsky, your quarterback, is back. A kid that I characterize as a kid, there's one that's grown up. Because the first time I talked to him 3 years ago, you couldn't get a word out of him with a shoehorn. Totally different personality now, am I right?
Absolutely. And then Liam, you know, being a returning starter for us, you know, one of 3, he has taken a hold of the offense. He is, You know, when you talk about students of the game, he is a student of the game. He is always asking me questions. He's asking Coach Falk, our run game coordinator, questions, asking Coach Seifert. He just wants to know as much as he can. And he, you know, honestly, if something would happen to our two coordinators, I would be okay going into a Friday night game and say, Liam, you're calling the plays, because he knows our offense, and it's no secret our offense is going to be based around our quarterback, and so every play is going to go through Liam Parovsky for us this year, and you know, we're excited as heck to have him back.
To augment what you just said, I paid particular attention to him playing for Adam Toohey last winter. He was the same kind of personality on the basketball floor. He wasn't going to score 15 points a night, but he was very involved.
Yeah, and that's what, you know, as a quarterback, you are the general. You are in charge of the troops, and our offense is going to go with Liam Parovsky. You know, and we want to push the tempo, it starts with Liam Parovsky. We want to slow it down, starts with Liam Parovsky. We want to run the ball, it's going to start with Liam. But obviously, we got 10 guys around him. But, you know, having that returning starter at quarterback is a huge advantage for us.
Going to have a big hill to climb in the Miami Valley League because Pick was back this year with a very good quarterback of their own, and a good complement of Drayshawn Roberts around Brady Uhl and playmakers there, and Bill does a wonderful job. Talk a little bit about the league this year and what we might expect, because we're going to be around on Friday nights.
Right. I think with the league, you know, you got 10 teams in the league, but I think all 10 of those teams are right here. You know, yes, obviously Pick was the returning champ, you know, so they're going to be at the top, but, you know, it's our goal, you know, to try to knock them off at one point. But again, that's not till week 8 for us. You know, we got to stay focused on Bellbrook, but really we haven't even focused much on Bellbrook. We got to stay focused on us, because we got a lot of work we still got to do. We got a lot of room for improvement. But we know come week 2 with Sydney, you know, the last 9 weeks of the season are going to be tough. And I go back to when I took that Troy job in 2015. And Bill Neese, you know, you got the Troy-Tip rivalry, and I've known Bill for a while now. He told me, he said, Matt, I'm going to give you one piece of advice. Pack your lunch every day. Because that was back when we were in the G-Walk, and there was no cupcakes. And you know what? That still stands true today, and I think this year it's going to stand even more true, because I think that the parity in the league, you know, we're all right there. We're all right there. So we know with our kids here, we got to pack our lunch every day.
Bill's had a few lunches over
Yeah.
the years. He's packed a few.
Yes, he
I'd
has.
say maybe Velvet packed them for him, but
I was
he's
going
had
to
a
say,
few.
he's probably got somebody packing it for him.
I think he has. Matt, it's great to talk to you, and it's great to hear your story here, because by contrast, there are other programs around the area and around the state who have lost 19 of 22 or 15 of 22 or something like that, and are not in the position that Tip is in to reach down and says, it's your time now. You've put in your work, your commitment, it's your turn. Let's show us what you can do. That really resonates with kids, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And you know, we always say when you be a part of our program, you're going to get an opportunity. When your opportunity comes, take advantage of it. We got a group of seniors right now that have had, you know, somewhat of an opportunity the first 3 years. But again, when you got three great classes in front of you, you know, sometimes you got to wait your turn. In today's day and age, there's a lot of people that don't want to wait their turn, but we've got 23 seniors that have waited their turn. And I tell you what, we have been so impressed with this group of seniors, because again, I think it goes back to the culture. You know, they understand, hey, what can I do to make our team be the best? Now, you know, they're that top dog, and they're ready to take advantage of that opportunity. We got a junior class that's ready to take advantage of it. We had a lot of players last season that were Friday night ready, but we just couldn't get them on the field because we had other guys that were just a little bit better than they were. So the fall camp, training camp, we've had great competition out on the field. Our kids cannot get complacent, because if they get complacent, somebody's passing them up. And Liam Parovsky's the same way. He cannot get complacent. We got 3 quarterbacks that won his job. So he knows he's got to push himself every day, and so does everybody else. And again, that's part of our culture. You know, that's what we do here at Tip. That's what we did at Troy. That's what I did at Fort Laramie, and we've had success with it. So we're going to go with it.
Enviable position to be in. Matt Burgbacher, the coach of the Tippecanoe Red Devils, and that wraps up this week's edition of First Person, again sponsored by the Precision Strip Company in Minster. A great place to work, whether you're starting, changing, or finishing a career. They're always looking for good people, and I bet you they'd like to look at you. So give them a call or check them out online. And again, as we always say, this starts our 13th season of covering high school football up and down the Miami Valley and out in the MAC and the hinterland out in some of the other counties. We're looking forward to it, and certainly looking forward to seeing your program this year. And
Thank you.
And appreciate all the support that we get from people out there for 13 years for what we do every week on Press Pros. So until next time, for Coach Burgbacher and our sponsor, thanks for what you do and checking us out every week and kind of keeping us on the ball. We'll look forward to another position and another edition of First Person coming up next week when we'll talk about opening week, talking about what's going on. We hope you'll enjoy it. Have a great sports weekend, everyone.